Oscar De La Hoya has confirmed that William Zepeda, the WBC interim lightweight champion, is on track to challenge Shakur Stevenson for the full title later this year. However, before he gets that opportunity, Zepeda must first get past Tevin Farmer in their highly anticipated rematch this Saturday, March 29th in Cancun, Mexico. Zepeda, who holds an impressive undefeated record of 32 wins, 27 by knockout, is determined to prove himself as one of the top lightweights in the division. His previous fight against Farmer, which took place on November 16th in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, ended in a controversial split decision victory, leaving some doubts about the outcome. By taking on Farmer again, Zepeda aims to remove any lingering controversy and solidify his status as the rightful contender for the WBC belt. Meanwhile, Shakur Stevenson has been actively pushing for a fight against Zepeda, believing that a victory over him would be the perfect stepping stone toward a unification bout with WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis. Stevenson and his promoter, Eddie Hearn, view this fight as an essential challenge that could eventually set up one of the biggest matchups in the division. De La Hoya recognizes that facing Stevenson will be a major test for Zepeda, but does not see it as an impossible challenge. He pointed out that in Stevenson's most recent fight against Josh Padley, Shakur faced unexpected difficulties. Padley came out aggressively, forcing Stevenson to stand and trade punches rather than rely on his usual evasive movement and defensive style. This approach appeared to trouble Stevenson more than anticipated, as he was hit more frequently than usual. De La Hoya also observed that Shakur seemed to be dealing with discomfort in his right hand during the fight, shaking it multiple times throughout the bout. While Stevenson remains an elite talent, some believe that his fight against Padley exposed potential vulnerabilities. Critics argue that if he had chosen to face Cuban contender Jadier Herrera instead, he would have been in an even tougher battle. The biggest concern for Stevenson's opponents has always been his defensive skills and ring intelligence, but his lack of knockout power has raised questions about how he would fare against relentless pressure fighters like Zepeda. Against a durable and high-volume puncher like Zepeda, Stevenson may not have the luxury of avoiding exchanges for 12 rounds. Zepeda, on the other hand, is eager to take on the toughest opponents in the division. He has built a reputation as an aggressive, high-pressure fighter who overwhelms his opponents with sheer volume and power. Unlike Stevenson, who relies on precision and movement, Zepeda thrives on relentless offense, making for a fascinating style clash if the two eventually meet. But first, he must defeat Farmer decisively to prove that he truly deserves a shot at the full WBC title. Farmer, though not known for his knockout power, is a crafty and experienced fighter who could present challenges for Zepeda if he is not careful. If Zepeda struggles in this rematch, it could cast doubts on his readiness to face someone as skilled as Stevenson. However, if he dominates Farmer, it will send a strong message that he is prepared to take on the division's elite. As fight fans eagerly anticipate Zepeda's next move, the bigger question remains whether Stevenson is as untouchable as some believe. His fight against Padley showed that when pressured, he can be forced into uncomfortable exchanges. If Zepeda can replicate that pressure on a much greater scale, it could make for an exciting and unpredictable battle. With the lightweight division, filled with big names like Gervonta Davis, Devin Haney, and Vasily Lomachenko, a victory over Stevenson would put Zepeda in a prime position to challenge for more titles. However, Stevenson will be just as motivated to prove that he remains one of the best boxers in the world. If this fight gets finalized, it could be one of the most significant matchups in the lightweight division this year, with massive implications for both fighters' careers. If William Zepeda manages to defeat Tevin Farmer convincingly, his confidence will be at an all-time high going into a potential showdown with Shakur Stevenson. A decisive win would eliminate any doubts from their first encounter and solidify his reputation as a legitimate threat in the lightweight division. However, if he struggles or barely scrapes by, critics will question whether he has the skills necessary to compete with someone as technically sound as Stevenson. For Zepeda, this upcoming rematch is about more than just winning. It's about making a statement that he belongs among the elite. If he can dominate Farmer and showcase improvements in his game, it will add intrigue to a potential fight with Stevenson, making it an even bigger spectacle for boxing fans.